Hi, I'm Mothra Faison of the Walding the Wolfpack. Today, I'm going to go over how to do a bloat, what it is, how to do it, and how you can do it yourself, and maybe some things that you might be able to do instead of how I do things. Again, this is your bloat you're doing, but I'm showing you how I do it and what I've learned along the way. So, let's get on to it. So, first things first, we're going to pick where we're going to do it at. As you see, it's my backyard. Nothing crazy. It's out in the woods. See my goats over there? Don't mind them. They're being goats. Now, you could do your bloat outside, depending on where you want to do it at. Now, normally, if I have a lot of people over, if it's actually a public bloat that I do, then I have my back deck. I do it there, or if I'm doing it at the property where I do Heathen Days Pig Nights, I'll do it there too. And of course, that's more of a public spacing. But if I'm doing something more private, then I'm going to do it inside my house, or I'm going to actually do it outside my back deck as well. That kind of depends on who you are, why you want to do it, and of course, if it's a private event or if it's more public for the blows that you want to do. Now, with that being said, let's talk about the regalia, the clothing, if you will. Right now, I am wearing my Gothi tunic. It has a little belt, got a million on it, it's got some other things on it. I got my necklace, and I got my Gothi tunic. The Gothi tunic was gifted to me from when I became a Gothi. And of course, that is a training that I partook in to actually be a part of this path and such. Now, that's a whole nother topic, but so on and so forth. Now, do you need a tunic to do this thing? No, you don't. Is it nice to have it? Yes. Understand what's nice to have versus what's required are often two different things. If you really are required the main things for a bloat, something to hollow the ground with, and it could be literally this, or it could be your hammer that you already got, an offering bowl, and something you're getting or giving to the gods, i.e. mead. Those are like the three basic things that you actually need. That's it. Everything else is things that make the bloat better or get you more connected to it. And you'll learn along the way of what that is as you get more into your spirituality and some of the things you actually want to do as far as your bloat goes. Now, going over the tunic, all the regalia stuff, now we're going to go over the actual altar itself. Is an altar required? No, but boy, is it nice to have one. So, first things first, I just have it on a table, nothing really fancy, but I'm also doing it just for this video. I have two different altars I have. I have a public altar and a private altar, and they look really different than this. Now, this is just for educational purposes. So, what kind of makes things a lot easier if you're going to have a nice altar, piece of cloth, an altar cloth of some sort, that kind of sets a space for what you're going to use, what you're going to work with, and it kind of builds a space for things you consider sacred or you want to make sacred. Next thing, you're going to need an offering bowl. I have kind of like a chalice right here. I also have a copper offering bowl right here. Now, traditionally speaking, offering bowls were made of copper, also known as bullies. Now, granted, this is my main one. This is one I bought. I thought it was going to be bigger. Turned out to be small, but I use it to hold my sage, so it's all good. Next, you're going to need a horn. This is the one that I like to use, which I just got, by the way, my new one. Use this when you have more than one person at your bloat. This is one I use for just myself if I'm actually doing a bloat by myself. Had this for many years, still runs solid. She does the trick. Next, you need a hammer. If you don't have like this, that's fine. This was gifted to me sometime back. And this is what I use to hollow the space. You can use your necklace, like a Mjolnir, if you have one. If not, then I'm sure you can figure something out that would work for you. Next, god totems. You have your Odin, you have Thor, you have Freyr, you have Freya. Now, I picked these ones because that's the ones I'm going to do today. After I teach you how to do an actual bloat itself, I'm going to run through it so you can see it full time. Are you required to have god totems? No. Does it make it nice to kind of bring you into it a little more? Absolutely. Again, think of it as something you want to build up to. Because I didn't have all this stuff right off the rip. This is stuff that I came later and later as, I progress in my spiritual path. So keep that in mind. It's a journey, not a destination. Keep that in mind. Next, you're going to need an offering. Mead. Woohoo! Mead is great, right? Now, normally speaking, I make my own mead. Granted, for this, I'm going to use this because I actually got some mead fermenting and that won't be bottled till tomorrow. I'm saving that for Walpark's not. So, buying mead is absolutely fine. Just don't buy anything that you don't like that you want to give to the gods. So, it's going to be something you cherish, right? Next, a notebook. This will come in very handy, especially if you have a very elaborate bloat, or if your bloat has a lot of meat involved, because meat is alcohol. It will make your tongue slip away from you. It will make you stumble your words. A book like this will keep you on track. It also helps you get into the zone and you actually write down your bloats as such, to actually give you into the zone that you are in the presence of the gods or your ancestors or the land vizier, which a lot of times you're in the presence of all three. Now, with that being said, we're going to go over the actual bloat itself. So first things first, you're going to want to clear the space. Now, there's a few ways to do this. You can do the hammer right. That's the one I usually do. Some people have some reservations on that. You do what you feel is right. There's also a few ways to do said hammer right. So one that the more I mainly do, north, east, southwest. And I pretty much hold my hammer up as such. And I say hammer of said direction. So right now we're facing what is about north that way. So this is about southeast, right? Which I wouldn't do southeast though. So it'd be like hammer south. Granted you do north, east, west, south, and then back to the center. And then you say hammer north, hold and hallow us holy stead. And then you make the actual hammer sign and come back to the middle. Then you do all the directions as such. Now there's another way that you could actually do this. Now this is kind of more towards the Vorfor and Seder kind of way. Sometimes they'll do either a bell, or the one I've seen personally witness is they'll get a hammer like this and they'll actually have a torch and they'll go to 4 different corners, same directions, right? North, east, west, south. And of course, first one being, may our oaths hold us, using his hammer, and they'll hit the torch. Go to the next spot. May the gods guide us. Hit the torch. Go to the next spot. May the ancestors guide us. Hit the torch. Go to the last spot. May the land vizier be kind to us. Hit the spot. Now, granted, I'm paraphrasing what is actually said, but that's generally what it is. It's your oath, your gods, your ancestors, and the land spirits, the land whites, whatever name you give them. Now, that's also a way to do it. And I'm going to I'm going to rewind a bit on this one. I've seen it done in a vey. Now, what is a vey per se? A vey is a sacred space that someone has hallowed for permanent offerings and bloats as such. Veys are awesome to have. Do I have one? No. Eventually I'm going to have a hof, but that's one of the things it's nice to have, but is it required? No, but it does make things better when we actually try to build those things and do the things to make heathenry a little better. Now, when you're actually walking to a space that you're going to conduct a bloat, as in like a vey, you're going to actually walk and you're going to actually absorb the energy around you. You're going to just feel nature. You're going to observe nature. You're going to observe the trees, and you're just going to feel the energy of you're going to a very sacred space and treat it as such. And going to a vey, no one talks. You do not talk while you're going to the vey, and then once everyone gets to the spot they need to go, they clear the space, they do the hammer right, and then they actually do the affirmations. Now, there is now I actually got that covered, the actual hallowing of the space. Oh, I forgot one thing. The other one being a weestead. Now, a weestead, I've only seen this once, so take it as you will. A weestead is you get, say, the offering bowl, a blot bowl as such, like this. You get some sort of incense, some sage like this, and then you'd actually burn it, and then you'd actually travel the spot, the circle, if you will, depending, some people say it's 3, some people say it's 9. I've only seen it done once, so you take that for what it's will. And you do that to actually hollow the space. And of course, you're almost walking a labyrinth, if you will. And of course, walking a labyrinth is you're walking a path to actually sanctify the space that you're actually in. Now, some people do that. I've only seen that once, so you take that for what. But if you want to do that, by all means, that's another tool in your little tool bag. Now that I go over the actual hallowing of space, one thing too is with utilizing the runes for actual said bloat. Now, there is that practice of using rune yoga. It's there. Some people do it. Most people don't. Now, you would actually face north, and then you'd make the shape of algae with your body, and then you'd ask Odin for guidance and protection of the rune. Algae being the rune that is connected from us to the gods and nature and our divine connection thereof. Hence why that is used. Granted, you can do that if you want to. That's on you. And of course, that would sound something like this. It's like, Odin, Allfather, we are here in your presence today for guidance and wisdom. As you see us conduct this bloat, may you guide and protect us. Something like that, right? Something quick, something meaningful, insightful in that sense. Now, they can be kind of considered an affirmation, but that's more of a runic practice, more rune yoga, if you will. But another topic for that another time. Anyways, now we're down to the actual meat and potatoes of the actual bloat after we sanctify the grounds. Now, what I personally do, I give a little brief of what's happening in a said bloat. The reason being is, depending on what heathen you ask, or Norse pagan if you go by the name Asatrur, again, just going to the fact that we go by different names, guess what our pagans and heathens do? We do bloats differently. Wow. I know, it's silly, but the thing is, the reason why is because this is reconstruction. We're interpreting sources differently, so we're going to have a different way of doing things. So what I personally do, I give a brief, and it'd be something like along the lines of, thank you everyone for coming here today. Today's the day that we're celebrating X holiday, right? So for a bloat like this, I say, thank you everyone for coming here today. For us being the presence of gods. Today we're giving an affirmation to Odin, Thor, Freyr, and Freya. As a gift offering, we're offering this said mead. Please join us today as we actually give offerings to the actual gods themselves. And something basic like that. And of course, I'll even give instructions on how I do it. And say, when I give offerings, I give affirmations to Odin. I say my affirmation, take a swig of the horn, pass it to the next person, and they say, Hail Odin. Take a swig, pass to the next person, Hail Odin. Boom, so on and so forth. Now, I give that brief, and the reason why I do is because some people are either not too keen on germs. So some people may not be cool with sharing a cup or a horn with other people. So sometimes, I'll actually give the offering to say, hey, if you want to use your own cup, by all means use your own cup. Or if they're a recovering alcoholic or someone who just doesn't partake in alcoholic drinks, I give them the option, just say Hail Odin. You can kiss the horn if you want, or just say Hail Odin, pass it on. Or if you want to do your own drink, then do your own drink. Use your preference on that. So I'm not going to tell you how to do your bloats, but that's how I do mine. And of course, after that one's done, I receive the horn with a little bit left. There's always going to be a little bit left that you have to have when you actually get the offering. And then you put a bloat bowl with the horn that you're using. So keep that in mind, right? Now, after that, we go to the next god of choice. Then it'll be Thor, give affirmation to him, repeat, pour the offering in. And then we're going to do it till we do all the gods that we have choice. Now, as you actually progress and get more familiarized with these actual bloats itself, it is not unheard of for people to read stories of the sagas and Eddas when they do the bloats. There's some that I do that for. For example, I do a Thor's blot, and I do it a very particular way. I tell the story of how Thor's goats became lame, being the one where, Thor was tricked by Utgard Loki with the whole trials and tribulations that he went through. And I tell that whole story. And I have a whole grill out with nothing but meat. And the reason why is because it's for the goat. All the bones and all stuff, we put in a fur pelt, put it down, wrap it up, and give that as an offering after I give affirmation to Thor. So that is one way to do it. Now, other people, if you're doing a Sigurd bloat, they would tell stories of Sigurd. Understand that, if you're reading straight from the book and you haven't give that study on doing that, it's going to come off a little dry. You might lose people after a while. So it'd be better to rehearse it, maybe give some energy behind it, and actually give that story some life. So whether you actually want to read it a few times and actually say in the mirror, if that's the route you want to go, understand that is a thing that you have to take into consideration when doing the stories of the gods and heroes of the gods, or heroes of the Vikings, being like Sigurd and such. Now, with that being said, we do all the gods, we do affirmations if there's stories there is. If, for example, when I do Yule, I'll have a Yule goat. That'll be time where people get to put their wishes to the Yule goat after those affirmations done. And then once everyone has the time to do that, we burn the goat, send the wishes onto their realm. And then after that, any other business to be done, that can be done then. Now, what I mean by business to be done is some bloats give people the chance to do a blessing. Blessings of either tools or equipment. So, for example, a charming of the plow, that is the affirmation to Freyr, and that mead is blessed by Freyr, and you use a sprig from any one of these trees, any branches, use your intuition, pick the best one. And then you'll use that said sprig, and you'll bless the farming equipment that you will use for charming the plow. And for for hunting equipment, being Scotty or Uller, user's dealer's choice on that. And of course, using that for the appropriate hunting season stuff. Because we also got to remember, our ancestors did everything by the seasons. So keep in mind that. Weddings, a blót will be done during a wedding. Again, you use a sprig and you bless the people who are there. If you want to go super ultra duper super duper traditional on this, you would actually offer a animal of sort. Being, if you want Thor to bless the wedding, you use a goat, a sow by Freya, a boar by Freyr, horse by Odin, so on and so forth. And of course, you would mix the blood of that animal into the mead, and then you'd actually bless the bride and groom, or whoever you're marrying, and those who are actually involved. That's super ultra traditional. Don't make that your first one, all right? Don't make that one your first actual blót to go to. That could be bad. But with that being said, giving offering and stuff. Now, traditionally speaking, you would do a symbol afterwards. Now, symbol being your host, your ghost, and your boast. With that being said, your host being your god of choice, goddess of choice. Each person gives a horn. They give that affirmation to their god or goddess of choice. And then afterwards, everyone gets a turn to do that. The next one is the ghost. The ancestors who passed. Family, loved ones, friends, people that mean something to you, or just want to give an offering to the ancestors, that's fine too. And of course, the point of doing the actual ancestor one, or even the ghost one, is we die twice. When we physically die, and when people forget our names. When we actually tell stories of our loved ones, our friends and families during the actual symbol, we actually keep their memory alive. We keep the joy of who they were alive. It's not to remember they died, it's to remember how great they were and how they lived and how they affected our lives. So that one can be a rough one. I do offer the chance for people to actually skip that one. And the reason why is because some people, it might be fresh. They may not be ready for that yet. So again, dealer's choice on that. Now, after that one, we do the boast. Boast is something great has happened to you. You got hired at a job, you left a bad job, went to a new one, or you won $1,000, or you're just happy you got to go to a blót. And it could be anything good that happened to you, right? Anything. Try to keep it PG though, if it's family around and stuff like that, so just throw that out there. Anyways, but I think that's kind of the bread and butter of it all, right? Do your hosts, you do your clearing, do your affirmations, you do your symbol. Now we got to close it out. How do we close this out? Now, symbol being done at the end, as a Gothi, I close it out with this. Once my blót symbol, everything's over, I say the words, "This blót has ended. May we go forth, firm and strong in our faith in our gods." Blót's ended. I take said offering bowl, that is once with full of mead, I'm going to pick it up, and I'm going to take it to any one of these trees that tree, shrubbery, anything that feels right. Some people will put in a fire. That's one way to do it too as well. Just be smart about your giving of said offering. And when I give said offering, what I say is, from us to you, from you to us. Hail to the gods, hail to the ancestors, and hail to the Lampeter. And I pour it out. Seems like a lot, but I'm going to run it real time so you can actually see what this actually looks like. So, stay tuned. Hammer north, hold and hallow this holy stead. Hammer east, hold and hallow this holy stead. Hammer south, hold and hallow this holy stead. Hammer the west, hold and hallow this holy stead. May the gods watch and protect all who are here today. Thank you everyone for coming here today. For those of you, thank you for watching this. We are giving an offering to Odin, Thor, Freyr, and Freya. And this is to give more of an educational purpose of why we give said offerings. And this is a good practice for as the spring comes in, we want to venerate these gods and welcome the spring in with these gods as well, as we consider them an extension of our family. So with that being said, here we go. Hail Odin, All-Father, wielder of Gungnir, rider of Sleipnir, god of the frenzy, god of Valhalla, chooser of the slain. We hail to today. As the spring comes forward, we welcome your wisdom to navigate the summer in our future endeavors that comes before us. Hail to you, All-Father. Hail to you, Thor, god of the Everman, protector of Midgard, wielder of Mjolnir. We hail to you today, for you're the mightiest of the gods, the strongest, killer of the giants. We hail to you today. As the spring comes, we welcome all your presence, and we welcome the joy that the sun brings as we remember you, and we honor you with his ale, with his mead. Hail Thor. Hail Freyr, king of the Swedes, twin brother of Freya, rider of the wild boar, lover of Gerd, king of the wielder of the antler. We hail you today, Freyr. As spring comes, we welcome your warmth and embrace. We welcome the fertility that comes from the growing of the crops, as we begin to turn to plow later on this when the spring comes. Hail to you, Freyr. Hail to you, Freya, twin sister of Freyr, daughter of Njord, goddess of love and war, ruler of Folkvanger, chooser of the slain of first choice. We hail to you today to embrace love in our community. We embrace your ferocity in war. We embrace everything that embodies us in our female folk. We hail to you today, Freya. Hail Freya. And for the video today, we're not going to do a symbol, but for actual education states, we're going to conduct to the end of it. This bloat has ended. May we go forth, firm and strong in our faith in our gods. From us to you, you to us. Hail to the gods, hail to the ancestors, hail to the land. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a bloat. Simple, down, dirty, to the point. And these things can be elaborate and as simple as you want them to be. Just do some research, put some effort into it, and make the offering good. So with that being said, hope you enjoy the video. Comment, like, down, share below, and as always, stay heathen.